Hello, everybody. I'm Matthew Brune here with Go 24/7, and today we're going to be talking about what everybody in Baton Rouge, in Louisiana, and every LSU fan across the country is talking about, and that's the quarterback battle. Why? Why do it before fall camp? Well, I think this is the perfect time to get my final prediction out to really talk about what we've seen throughout the spring, what we heard throughout SEC media days, and just what we kind of get the feeling of at this point in the year. So obviously, this could be proven wrong fairly early in fall camp, depending on what we see. Right, Brian Kelly might be more restrictive to the media than what Ed Ogeron or Les Miles were, but if we are able to see it, and it is, in fact, one specific guy, then we'll know at that point. But I think from what Brian Kelly said throughout media day and throughout really the offseason is that it's not going to be something that's decided in the first week. So I don't think by August 10th we'll know. I don't know if by August 17th we'll know. I'm not sure when we'll know. But at some point, you will need to tailor this offense to whoever the quarterback is because they have such different skill sets and they're all very talented in their own way. And for that reason, I trust Mike Denbrock and I trust Brian Kelly to make the right decision. I just have a preference. And I have an idea for who I think should start based on the information that we have available to us at this moment, right? We haven't seen every practice. We haven't seen every scrimmage. We haven't seen every workout. However, what we have seen is a good amount of spring ball. We all saw the spring game. And I think with that in mind, and we saw obviously last year as well for at least Daniels and Nussmeier. Daniels, it's been a few years since then. But regardless, we have ample context to make a prediction, to make a educated guess, as you would say in school, right? And this isn't who I think is going to start, but this is who I think should start. So let's get into it. This is why Garrett Nussmeier should be the starting quarterback at LSU week 1 against Florida State. It starts with who can get their playmakers the ball the best. We've heard it from Mike Denbrock. We've heard from Brian Kelly. It's become cliche to this point. I heard it when I was at North Texas. It's not exclusive to what LSU situation is. The difference is LSU has one of the best receiving corps in the country. Kayshon Boutte, Jack Besh, Malik Neighbors, Kyron Lacey, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton. Go down the list, and it is probably a top 2 receiving corps in the SEC, one of the best 10 in the country. And with that being the case, a lot of people here get the ball to your playmakers in space and let them do the hard work, right? That's what you always hear. And a lot of people think of that as bubble screens, slants, hitch, like being on time, being on target, being accurate. And so when they hear that, they think of Myles Brennan. And I understand why, right? Myles Brennan is a very, very solid player. Not for nothing, I think Jaden Daniels had a completion percentage of about 65%, doing just that last year, completing really short passes. I think he had an average of yards per attempt around 7. But regardless, what separates Garrett Nussmeier is not just that he gives them an opportunity to make plays when they have the ball in their hands, but he gives them opportunities to make plays when the ball is not in their hands. And what do I mean by that? Because of his ability to extend the play, I'm not saying he's not Jaden Daniels, he's not this super elusive guy, but we saw plenty of times in the spring game, and even I believe to his touchdown pass to Jack Besh last year, his ability to extend the play and give his receivers a chance to create separation, to get a physical advantage position-wise on the defensive back. And then I think not for nothing, he's the best at throwing on the run of any of these quarterbacks. And I think that's what separates him. The pure arm talent is clearly visible when he is on the move. When he's on the move and he doesn't have to set his feet and he can just be a natural athlete and just turn his hips and fire. He's one of the best. Like, he has a clear natural ability to make these throws. And for that reason, I look at him and say, he's the one that's giving your receivers the best chance to be great. Not the guys who are going to hit the 5-yard check down, not the guys who are going to hit Kayshon Boutte over the slant for 8 yards and he'll break it for 80. I think Garrett Nussmeier can do that. I think Garrett Nussmeier has the ability to make all the throws that Brennan and Daniels can. The question is obviously, he's the youngest of the group, right? Jaden Daniels has the most experience. Myles Brennan is the oldest. Garrett Nussmeier is the most unknown. And whenever you say that a redshirt freshman could be the best quarterback on your roster, alarms go off. Like sirens go off and people say, it's like, that can't be possible. We are LSU. We have experience. We have transfers. All of that is true. But I think Garrett Nussmeier is more than just this mysterious box that you're like, oh, I don't know what's in it. Let's open it. Let's find out. I think he's more than that. I think he has clear cut tools to excel at this level. And because of what he can do with his arms and his ability to extend plays with his arm, I look at him and say, Kayshon Boutte, Malik Neighbors, those guys got to be looking at him throw the ball and say, let's let him have a shot. Like, I'm not saying, again, I've been higher on Jaden Daniels than most in all of Baton Rouge have been. I think Jaden Daniels could start very easily. And I think Miles Brennan could very well start. I think they could all succeed. The difference is their ceilings. And Garrett Nussmeier's ceiling to me is too high to pass up on. And for me personally, again, this is all personal, when I have a quarterback competition, I look at which quarterback could be the best. Which quarterback has the most pure talent here? Because if I'm a coach, if I'm Mike Denbrock, if I'm Joe Sloan, I'm like, let me work with him. Let me get him to the level to where he can be one of the 5, 6, 7 best quarterbacks in the SEC this year. Because you look at all the preseason rankings and nobody has LSU's quarterback situation as a top 10, top 9, top 8. Why is that? It's because they think they know what Jaden Daniels is. They think they know what Miles Brennan is. They don't know what Garrett Nussmeier is. And so for that reason, I think you have to take a high upside swing here, because if you go with Daniels or if you go with Brennan, I think there are just clear limitations here. And I'm not saying Nussmeier is perfect by any means. He has a long ways to go. But you look at the SEC schedule, and you look at the quarterbacks that LSU will be playing, I think you have to take a shot at having a quarterback that can compete with these guys as far as arm talent goes, right? If you just list the SEC quarterbacks, only the SEC quarterbacks, because the non-conference schedule is easy for LSU. Will Rogers, I'm going to leave Auburn out of this. Will Rogers, Auburn's situation, Hendon Hooker, Anthony Richardson, Jackson Dart, Bryce Young, KJ Jefferson, and Max Johnson. You know, Max Johnson is what he is. I'm not overly high on him. But regardless, most of those other guys have the arm talent to win you games, right? Even for Anthony Richardson's, maybe inconsistencies, or Hendon Hooker's inconsistency, or KJ Jefferson's maybe limitations without Treylon Burke. I look at all those guys and be like, they can win you a game. Clearly. LSU situation is different because LSU has the receivers that can win you the game. And so how do you give them the best opportunity to win is you give them a quarterback that can create. I look at Garrett Nussmeier and say, he's the one that can go toe-to-toe with Anthony Richardson, with Hendon Hooker, with KJ Jefferson, if he reaches his ceiling. In today's day and age, where offenses are, I know Georgia just won the national title, awesome, but again, you look at most great teams across the country, they have a dynamic offense, right? You look at what Pitt did last year. We look at Wake Forest did. I mean, you go down the list, the teams that win have the best quarterbacks. LSU cannot be playing catch-up in games. They can't be relying on an albeit great defensive line or great receivers to bail them out continuously, because they have too many other question marks here, right? The quarterback position has to be a sure thing for them. And while I understand that the floor may be higher for Jaden Daniels and the floor may be higher for Miles Brennan, which I think both those are question marks still, but I understand the arguments for them. My thing is, you want a quarterback that gives you the best chance to win games. I don't think this is a question mark. Garrett Nussmeier's ability to throw the football and to make plays gives this offense the best chance to be dynamic. And with that being said, I think that's where I want to end it here. Thank y'all for joining me. Again, everybody has their own opinions on this. Miles Brennan camp is strong as ever. Jaden Daniels camp, while small, albeit, is still existent. I think all three of them have a very good chance at winning the job. And again, I completely trust Brian Kelly and Mike Denbrock to make the correct decision here. They know far more than I do. They know far more than any of us do, than anybody in the media does. They know more. And so, not saying they can't make the wrong choice or can't make a mistake, but at the end of the day, they will make their best guess. And I assume probably somewhere towards the midpoint of August, we will probably get a better feel for who the starting quarterback is going to be. So I'm excited to see it. I think they're all going to be very capable of winning games, and especially beating Florida State. I think it doesn't really matter as long as the offense is kind of flowing. I think any quarterback can beat Florida State if they are playing well and if the defense lives up to its expectations especially up front. So yeah, let me know what y'all think. Let me know why you think it should be Miles Brennan, Jaden Daniels. I appreciate all discourse. It's it's late July at this point. We're waiting for fall camp to get here, and so I thought it'd just be a fun video just to talk about the most important and most talked about position group on LSU this year. So yeah, thank y'all for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, leave a like, comment, share, all that good stuff. If you haven't already, become a subscriber for Go 247. Check that out. Thank y'all for joining me. We'll talk to y'all later.